A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twin Flame Union, and this is the part 3 of the series Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine in the moments of solitudes. These are the energies after the dark night of the soul. A very difficult one is over. And the thumbnail, as you can see, for this series is Are You With Me Here? So what is happening is that this has a lot to do with sacral chakra healing as well. In the past few months, I had been speaking a lot about the root chakra, and I have been speaking a lot about how the divine feminine should become financially independent. She should become somebody who doesn't need anyone. She should become more abundant. She should be able to live her life, without any sort of materialistic support from any other person. She should not be dependent on her family, and codependency should definitely be completely removed. Those are the things that happen when the root chakra is healed. One more thing that happens is whatever money she earns, she's very content with it. If she wants something, she can get it. At the same time, she puts her time into things that she loves. Okay? She will be very easily able to manage her accommodation, her boarding and lodging, if she needs to get a place, if she has to pay rent. And this root chakra healing has a very important impact on the divine masculine as well, because, as she becomes more independent in a financial status, which is very, very important, because a lot of divine feminines, personally I know about it, have been struggling with finances for such a long time. They are always hand to mouth, and sometimes they're not even hand to mouth because they have to depend on either the government for benefits, or they have to depend on the, man, and the man is also not doing much. If it is a family member that she's dependent on, then they will constantly, pin her down for taking support from them. If she's financially not taking any support, then she could be living in a place where she does not pay the rent, or she's not, buying the food or something like that. So even that is used against her again and again. But what she understands through all of these financial crises, which is a part of the journey as well. For a lot of people who don't understand, who think that why is this happening, you have to remember that most of the divine feminines have earned a lot of money, and even if it's not millions or billions of dollars, but they did have a lifestyle, and it is a twin flame journey that actually, makes them go through a lot of this. And a lot of you, when I say they, I mean a lot of you, the feminines, actually would say this, and you have said this, that there was a time when I wasn't really concerned about the money. I was probably doing a lot of hard work. Maybe I was doing part-time jobs or full-time jobs, but somehow my life was pretty much managed. I still was buying clothes, and I was going out, and I was partying, and I had some friends. But then even that aspect of her materialistic life was not a healed aspect, because she could be doing a lot of jobs, a lot of things, which she really did not totally enjoy and totally love. When the Kundalini awakening happens, when the Kundalini starts to rise up, because the feminines do have an intuitive side, and they do have, most of the times, because it is blocked due to the lower chakras, it so happens that, she may have a lot of gifts, but she's not able to put it to the right use. The twin flame journey is going to, or if it hasn't, actually break everything around her. It will cause a huge havoc in her life. And let me also tell you one more thing today. A lot of you think that the twin flame journey actually starts when you meet the masculine. That is not the true thing. Twin flame journey starts much before that. The preparation work happens much before that. The spade work happens much before that. You don't even realize when it actually happens. But then there is definitely some changes, some major changes in your life. Maybe you move to a new city. Maybe you want to be a person who has certain dreams and she wants to follow the dreams. Some of you would have probably materialistic dreams and you want to achieve those goals. There is some kind of a huge change, and that is when actually the journey starts in a real way. So you will see lifestyle change. Suddenly you'll feel like, you are a more spiritualistic person. Suddenly you'll see all the faces of your friends around you. They are not real friends. Suddenly you'll realize that all these years that you were going out, meeting people, partying, doing this, doing that, it was all a big illusion. A lot of those things happen when awakening starts. Your twin flame actually meets you much later, let me tell you that. And then, the runner chaser dynamic starts. Now, in some cases, as I've also said, that the trajectory could be different. In some cases, the false twin flame takes up a lot of time, and there is a runner chaser dynamic with the false twin also. And so a lot of people think that, this person is my twin flame, but that actually turns out to be the false twin. In some cases, it's the other way around. Marriage has taken place, things like that. But there is a role play of the finances. And this is something that we all would have in common, that at one point in time, the divine feminine literally feels that either she's bankrupt or she's dependent on other people. She cannot get things what she wants. Even though this happens after the spiritual ascension takes place and she feels that, I don't need all these materialistic things. Money is no big deal. Happiness is a bigger deal. I want to get happiness. So she quits those jobs that she doesn't enjoy doing. She doesn't take up any projects. She sits at home for many days. Again, different people, different scenarios will take place. But there is some kind of understanding with money. Now that is the universe's way of making the divine feminines learn that it's not about the money, it's about the abundance. If you feel abundant within, if you feel like you belong, if you feel that you exist, if you feel that you have a home and your home is a very permanent place, then slowly she will see things change in her materialistic outlook as well. She maybe starts making more money. She maybe gets to buy things, and by now she's also understanding of this fact that it's very important to give back to the community. In some cases, a lot of divine feminines find the mission work right before the root chakra gets healed, or there is some kind of a blockage that she finds out that she has to remove either by herself, or she has to take some help, or she has to do some practice, some kind of technique. She needs to do this, that. There are, as I said, there are many ways to do it, but everyone has a predestined path, a predestined plan of action, which for you people it could be maybe the universe put you in a way that you came across the channelings, or maybe for some people it could be they found a book, or for some people it could be they went to a retreat, they found some knowledge over there, they got some kind of understanding. Also with the financial aspects, one more thing happens. For some people, the runner chaser dynamic happens with the finances as well. Like, after she says, no, I'm not going to be a materialistic person, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, suddenly, she makes a lot of money. And then she goes to have a vacation, or the vacation happens like a part of the dream. It's like, I want to do something, I want to go for a vacation. She leaves with her bags anyhow. She doesn't probably have so much money. And on the way, somehow she makes money. And she's taken by a shock or a surprise that how come it happened so easily? I didn't even do anything. I didn't even literally do anything. I didn't even lift a pen or a paper. So these are the miracles that happen on the way, where she realizes that, there's something different that happened over here. But still it happened. All of these things are very important for the root chakra healing and clearing, because your relationship with money should not be limited to cash and storage, or buying this or buying that, or huge bungalows to live in, or diamond necklaces, or even if you somehow manifest them, there should not be any attachment towards it. The universe just wants you to be detached with the concept of materialistic paper money, or the concept of money. However, it still wants you to know about abundance, that you can create abundance. Now, abundance is a very important thing. We all understand it. There are certain children who are born in very abundant families. For example, the divine feminine could be born in a very rich family, the parents have a lot of money, lifestyle is really good, but in the childhood she gets abused by a servant, or she gets abused by a relative, she gets abused by some uncle or somebody, some auntie or uncle or whatever, I don't know. Different people for different scenarios and different people. So despite having the root chakra in place, the sexual abuse happens, and that blocks the sacral chakra for a very long time. And then whatever relationships happen in your life for the divine feminine, they are based upon all the masculine energies that are present around her, the feeling that she has about safety, about uncomfortableness. Like, I personally feel that when I was, healing my sacral chakra, there was a time when I used to feel really unsafe, with other men, any man. And it used to really torture me sometimes. It used to really emotionally torture me. Like, whether it's a man who's younger to me, whether it's a man who's elder to me, and all the flashbacks, of the childhood abuse would come back to me, they would haunt me. Of course, the reason why I have created this chakra therapy, which is a 7-session, it's a course where we don't just work during the sessions, but we also work in between the sessions. A lot of homework is given, a lot of assignments are given, and research work is done. And based on all of those things, the sessions are conducted in such a way that they're able to help the person to, rediscover the connection of the chakras in their body. Currently, I'm doing only 7 chakras, though there are 12 chakras, but I'm working only on 7 chakras right now, because I feel personally, if the 7 chakras, if you have the knowledge about the chakras, at least if you know that particular trauma causes particular, pain or pain body, or how your connection with other bodies that you have, gets disrupted, and how the energy flow doesn't come. And there are certain techniques and there are certain tips. So all those people who have, done a full chakra therapy, they are actually much more independent. They do keep writing to me. Sometimes they take one single session, or they want to probably go for a reading or something. But they now tell me that, I feel much more independent. I can, access a lot of things that I could not earlier. I feel more aware. And whole idea is, that you don't need hand holding, that after a point in time, you should be able to manage it on your own, your emotions and your pain. Now, this particular part series can be really, helpful, for people, because this is the stage where, because of the root chakra healing, the masculine feels very grounded with the feminine. So even if they may not be talking, they may not be communicating, and I do not want you to go beyond logic and practicality. There is another series that I've just started on Twin Flame Universe, the other channel. If you have not yet subscribed to that channel, do subscribe it. If you have not subscribed to this channel also, do subscribe it, so that you keep receiving updates. And my channel, I try to be more as much authentic as I can be. And the people who are working with me right now, whether they are doing counselings or readings or therapies, they have told me that the basic reason why they're able to change their life is because the content is quite honest. And I don't want to give any fantasies to people. I don't want you to, live in a Cinderella love story. I don't want you to live in a Snow White love story. I want you to create your own truthful love story, which is based on both logic and emotions, which is, a balance of logic and emotions. So even though, the messages from the channeling, sometimes they're very positive, sometimes they can be a little disheartening, but whenever I give out positive messages and you are not in contact with the divine masculine, he has not spoken to you for a long time, maybe you want to take it like, it can never happen, this is just impossible. Or you can take it like, yeah, maybe this is possible too. But as you heal more and more, you will realize that there is a big role of being practical in your 3D reality. But in your spiritual realm, as a spiritual being, you are full of possibilities. Even your bodily movement, even your bodily lifestyle has a lot to do with how you are within. Like there are places where women are treated very badly, they are disrespected, they are just seen as an object. So, practically speaking, if the divine masculine is not contacting you, has treated you badly, and you feel that, you very strongly feel that he took you for a ride, he is an absent person. So, that's why I said in the other channel, do listen to the sessions on emotions versus logic or practicality. There's a series, divine feminine versus divine masculine, because feminine is all about emotions and masculine is all about the logic. So you need to develop your logical aspect, and if logically, if you feel practically, you look at your life around and you don't see him and you're not, he's not communicated, he's not contacted you, or he's treated you badly, then you need to act with all practicality and logic, and most importantly, common sense. Common sense is something which is very much needed, when you're trying to fix your life. So he is not there, it means he is not there, okay? But in your thoughts and in your mind, you should know that if he is the only person you feel love for, but he is not around or he has treated you badly, then I need to right now take control of my life. I don't know what future has. Maybe in future he will be an improved version, or as I said that currently you are, thinking about the doppelganger version of your actual healed divine masculine. Because if a divine masculine is healed, he will not act in any such way that he's been acting with you right now. So currently he is not ready for it. He is not ready, he's not there, he's absent, or he's ghosted you out, or he's blocked you, or he's just humiliated you, or he used you sexually and then just vanished, or he took a long time to convince you that he loves you, and when it actually you needed the commitment, or when things were really you were at the moment where everyone was questioning about him, that's when he vanished. What triggers his vanishing and this and that? You're not supposed to heal him. You're supposed to heal yourself, because in your healing lies his healing. But while he is not around, your life must go on. You must live your life the way you are supposed to live your life. And when you're living your life properly, then you will be very much focused on your personal development. You would be living in so much awareness that every moment you are aware. Everything about you, that. You know about your body, you know about your soul, you know about your mind, everything. Like, I'm not saying everything in a way that you have that superiority complex and you lack, you're not humble at all, that, oh, I know everything. No. I mean, you should be at least aware about everything. Like, nobody can know everything, according to me. There's always a learning. There's always curiosity. We always want to become better and better and better, and how down further into the rabbit hole do you want to go? It's something like that. But with every stage, with every level, the goal is to develop peace in your life. Are you peaceful or not? Do you get triggered easily by the noises and the commotion created by the world outside? Or why is the world outside you so unsafe, so dirty, so dark? Why can't you trust people? Why are people so mean? There is this whole, feeling of unsafety. So I will definitely discuss about the sacral chakra also in detail. So as I was saying, I was talking about, say, a divine feminine who's born in a very rich family, but the servants have abused her sexually as a child, or some uncles or some aunts or some cousins or somebody. So despite living in a very rich home full of, say, bodyguards or servants or nannies or this or that, she still didn't feel safe. So money can't buy you safety. Money can't buy you comfort. This is what she learns, unconsciously or subconsciously. She starts feeling, or she gets programmed, that no place is safe for me, not even my home. The worst thing, when a woman, when a child or a girl, whatever, gets abused inside her own house, that is the worst place to be in, because it's your own house. It is supposed to be safe and it is supposed to be comforting. It is supposed to be a place that you close the door and you can be whatever you want inside the house. You can sing, you can dance, you can decorate yourself, you can clean yourself, you can clean the house, you can do makeovers, you can put on a wig and do some dirty dancing. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Your house becomes a safe haven for you. So if her own house is not a safe haven for her, if her own house cannot provide her security and comfort, not only it is going to block the root chakra, but it also then starts blocking the upper chakras. The confidence gets affected, it becomes low because, this constant feeling of being watched by others, being judged by others, or, being looked at by others in a very uncomfortable way, in an abusive way. This is all happening in her immediate surroundings. So when something happens in your immediate surroundings, where else would you go? Now this is also happening because back then, whenever these things took place, the knowledge or the wisdom that she has, that was also diminishing, because as childhood ends, adolescence ends, we lose the memory of our origin. We lose the memory that we are souls and that we are connected to source. We are made of the same speck of light of which source is made of. So we have endless possibilities. We can move on. Pain was just there to teach me. They don't remember all of that as they grow. Now they are more programmed to the materialistic world around them, the three-dimensional reality, the programmed version, their identity, whatever personality, identity a person has, it all depends on their natural being, obviously, but that's in the subconscious. And then you have programming being done by education, by schooling, by neighbors, by relatives, by family members, so on and so forth. So by the time you become a responsible person or a mature person or a grown-up person, you could have, collected an end amount of memories which only particularly belong to this life. You don't know anything about even your inner strengths. So this creates a huge amount of blockage of energy, and there's too much effort that has been made then to feel safe, too much effort being made to create a comfortable space, a home where there is no abuse, no torture. There are so many homes where there's abuse within the homes. So that is a really dark energy. Divine Masculine, when her root chakra is healing, he also learns a lesson or two or even more. Like for example, he learns about the relationships. The relationships are always conditional relationships. No matter who it is on planet Earth, everybody has a condition to love. There are so many flaws in the mother-child relationship itself. And that's also because women have been suppressed. They have been repressed for so long. It's a very toxic patriarchal system, which is obviously healing as the Earth's ascension is happening. And so many people are ascending. So this is definitely going to change, because those people are going to inspire and recreate a different kind of energy. And again, they will now finally start getting connected to the original identity, the identity or the memory that was taken away in childhood, after a certain period of time. There are very few children though who remember few things, few very esoteric things, very magical things, like they probably used to talk to an angel as a child and they lost that connection. Now after 35 years of their life, or 30 years or 40 years, 45 maybe, I don't know, different things, maybe a bit early to in the mid-20s or 20s, they suddenly start remembering those experiences. They suddenly start realizing that there are various dimensions, there is infinite possibility, there is life, there is God, there is source, They realize all of these things. So they start realizing and things start changing. But ultimately, it only happens after the root chakra is healed, the sacral is healed, solar plexus is healed. Solar plexus is a next level. That's why it's called Manipura, city of the jewels. You have so many jewels over there, but how do you access those jewels? For that, you need to work on sacral and root majorly, so that you feel amazing and safe and you feel relaxed. You're always relaxed. Otherwise, there's always some kind of tension, some kind of stress, some kind of thoughts that are so heavy, throughout the day also. There is runner chaser dynamic going on, and you are now mastering, or you're reaching to that level of mastery, at least for some of you in some departments. And then, once you fix few departments, few categories, then you can do more work. When the healing happens, the first thing that will change in his life is that he will now start remembering the divine feminine as a rock of his life, He will think that this was the most real relationship I ever had. This was the most insane, crazy, mind-boggling experience, relationship, but it was so worth it. It was all worth it. And, he's like, I really want this originality in my life. I want this kind of a relationship only. And he obviously thinks about her in the same lines that, he also starts thinking that maybe eventually we'll meet. His hopes and his dreams have changed. The negativity has gone. The misunderstandings start getting clear. He starts remembering their talks, their words they would say to each other, the kind of love they shared. It wasn't sexual, it wasn't physical. It was very, very, surreal, subtle, very soulful connection. And all the bad things that they witnessed, he thinks that maybe that was a test of time. Maybe we had to overcome those things together. We had to go through it together. Maybe there's a reason behind it. So he doesn't see it like something bad or something regretful or remorseful or things like that, which he had experienced during the dark night of the soul. So the dark night of the souls are also very well placed in time. And there is a period of peace, then there's a period of turmoil, then again peace, then again turmoil, then peace, turmoil. Slowly and gradually, you start finding peace in the turmoil, and things begin to change. Peace is obviously peace. There is peace all the time. But what about the turmoil? What about the times when you feel that there's a struggle or there's a difficulty? How do you maintain your energy? How do you stay neutral? How do you not react? Just respond to life. So all those things, all the changes that she makes over here, he will have the impact over there. So that's the reason why you need to work on yourself. Not, okay, that's the reason why, number 2. But number 1 is your personal development, your own peace of mind. You cannot expect another person to have peace of mind or have positive thoughts or feel optimistic or find sense of humor in those situations unless you develop it yourself. If you're an angry person, you will see angry people all around, and he would also be angry. If you're a happy-go-lucky person, then you'll see others also going through that. It's mirror reaction. What you feel within is what you see, and what you see outside is a hologram of what's within. Response, basically. So you understand these things, and you are trying to find the peace in the turmoil. Like there has to be something more. There has to be something, or things can change. Things can become better. So here in his solitude, he is asking her, are you here with me now? Can you feel it? The love we have, the experiences we went through, the learnings. Don't you think it was predestined? It was pre-planned? Don't you think it had to happen? Don't you think it has made us more stronger? Don't you think that you respect me more, or I respect you more? Or at least, if we don't respect each other fully, because I'm talking about the root energies right now, then at least we have some amount of respect for each other, some amount of understanding that human beings do make mistakes, that we did make mistakes. We did make a mistake, and we have already made mistakes. So what do we do about them? Should we dwell on them, or should we just, make something better out of it, learn something, improve our lives, become a better version. He started thinking on all those lines, which also are connected to self development, how you feel within, how you change your mood, how you're able to, cherish what you have. So these are the things that take place. And on this note, I'm going to be closing this channeling here. And hopefully I might make a part 4, because I feel there's something more coming to it. So this is an ending where I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back on this subject or not, whatever is remaining now. I know there's a lot remaining in many places, but I can only just be here for you guys, present here. But you got to be more present to yourself. I'll tell you, go figure it out yourself after listening to all of this. How should you get peace in your life? How should you feel better? How should you ascend more smoothly? How to find the peace in the turmoil, So I'll stop here now. One love and peace out.